Assalamu alaikum and peace. This is Imam Malik Mujahid, and you're watching Muslim Network TV. Muslim Network TV is always there 24/7 on Galaxy 19 satellite, which covers the whole United States, Canada, and Mexico with 57 million subscribers. You can also watch us on OTT devices like Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and download our app or be on our website, muslimnetwork.tv. Today we'll be talking about Muslim businesses and the 1.8 billion people around the world. They got a lot of businesses, but there is a particular genre called Halal businesses. These are business people who focus on making money or selling to Muslims in a way which is abiding by the Quranic and prophetic principles of making money and avoiding things which Muslims are expected not to do by God Almighty. So this is in a nutshell the halal business. Most businesses that are halal business, you're buying vegetable, guys buying, purchasing, and selling. That's halal vegetable business. But if he's borrowing money on interest base, then there are questions about that. So these are the few things, and we will be talking today with a couple of Muslim businesses, and one is from Singapore, and one is going to be from Canada. Both deal with different type of markets. So our first guest is going to be the one who will deal with who is from Singapore, and he is Fateh Ali. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Imam Malik.
Welcome to Muslim Network TV. Fateh Ali is co-founder and CEO of CollabDeen, and he's coming to us from Singapore. We have morning and probably you have evening time over there.
It is. It's 11 p.m. here.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what does CollabDeen do?
Absolutely. So once again, my name is Fateh Ali. I'm the co-founder and CEO of CollabDeen, a company where we are building deep technology collaboration in the Muslim ecosystem. Now, CollabDeen is the world's first community collaboration platform designed specifically for nonprofits, faith-based communities, and halal businesses, where you can start building your community together, start growing, engaging, and monetizing your community in one single place. There are multiple different cases around how you can form your own community and start engaging. Now, we are transforming the halal through this technology, now bringing smart, tangible benefits for consumers, businesses in the global Islamic economy on one side. On the other hand, we are trying to give this technology platform for about 3.5 million masjids who is not completely utilizing a centralized place for digital collaborations within masjid, Islamic centers, society, organizations. So our technology suits on one side catering to the faith-based system, and on the other side catering to the lifestyle sector of the global Islamic economy. In short, we are a team of productivity experts. We are trying to revolutionizing the way how these how we organize their giving, how share information and communicate with their own people in a more private digital space. So reinventing the digital mobile collaboration.
So CollabDeen then is a not-for-profit organization, or it's a business?
It is a business. It is a business. We are a startup based out of Singapore, purely a business. But our market is both non-for-profit, which is the masjid, Islamic centers, and then on the other hand, the halal businesses. So it's purely business for us.
Okay, so it's a business organization. How do you make money?
So this is the first office model in terms of this market. It's a SaaS-based model where it's a software as a subscription. I'll give you a little insight about how this community collaboration platform would work. Let's take an example of say masjid or an Islamic center. Now there are about 2,000 to 3,000 people in this organization. Now There are about 10 to 12 digital touch points for various community collaboration within masjids and the premises of this masjid. What happens is, for communicating with their people, the organizations use WhatsApp and other Facebook and other collaboration communication tool. For event management, they go out on Eventbrite for probably create Google Forms for various event activity captures. What will happen is, and then at the next stage, once they have the information, they go on Mailchimp and many other platforms to communicate and consistently reach out to the same audience for digital payments, for fundraising, for membership management. There are all 10 to 12 different digital touch points for these communities. What we are trying to do is we are centralizing all these things in one new platform, which we have built it up ground up. And this is going to be one singular place for community for both two-way communication. Now, what we do is, to answer your question, how do we monetize this? We are primarily a SaaS-based platform, which is software as a service. We provide our software mobile platform for a monthly subscription price.
Okay. So how many subscribers do you have right now?
We started up in 2018, and really that was a beta launch. What we did is we tested out in phases. We did not let our communities grow for the greater good. We went slow in terms of how we built it up, the whole community platform, because it was first of its kind. We don't have anybody to look and follow those footsteps. So it was a lot of experimental time. We learned a lot, failed a lot. Now we are in a shape where we want to go out in the market aggressively. We just started up with the UK and US market. So in that regards, we don't have too big numbers to say. We have about 500 communities, organizations using our platform currently, and about 10,000 plus user base currently on our platform.
Okay, so who is your typical user then? Is a mosque, an Islamic center, which is the concept, in US and UK? Yeah, are they your main target group?
Yes. So organizations, which is Islamic centers, masjids, or non-profits, purchase or use our software on a monthly basis. And they're our real customers. Now we are also going second for like B2B2C, the consumer market that we are tackling, where anyone could download the app around the world, utilize these basic prayer utilities like various other platform that provides finding out Qibla, prayer timings, Quran radio, these kind of utilities that it surrounds with, while primarily they can connect to nearby masjids. And digitally, it's a very new way of how we have built this into, and say the UI is different, the experience of users are different, and how the experience of connecting the communities to their community members is really a driving factor for us. We are really building up a great community experience through our digital platform.
So don't you think it is going to be almost impossible to people who are used to Google, they are used to Google. Google is a big thing, right? People who are used to using WhatsApp for messaging, why will they stop that and limit themselves to their mosque? Because their mosque, is integrated. So how do you integrate the existing habits in your software? Because if you will be asking them that whatever they are getting in other platform is provided by you, and they will have to divorce that, because I'm a member of a mosque, but at the same time I'm member of several other groups outside my faith community, and I interact on multiple bases. So it seems like people will have to add another dimension to their communication and organizing model, instead of becoming a place where everything else will converge.
It is. I think this is very interesting question, right? So at this day and age where everyone have multiple platforms onto their mobile phones now, getting another new app or a platform is definitely a challenging task. Now, why would somebody bring this platform CollabDeen on or install through App Store or Play Store? Is both from organization perspective, it's the only channel that they can start making it more of a formal engagement platform. We have seen in first-hand experiences from Singapore and many other communities around the world where they've made this an official platform. Now, talking about just sending out a communication message, let me give you a couple of examples for for connecting those dots of the question that you have asked. Now, earlier, the administrated, I'll take one example of a community in Singapore, a community of size about 2,000 people, about 500 to 700 people are more actively engaging, but the administrator only had about 250 or 300 contacts within that community, right? And beyond that, very few of these, email addresses, how they would actually connect. So they would send out a message and only hope from WhatsApp that the rest of the community members get forwarded to that, right? And a lot of community that we have seen is they're using only that WhatsApp groups for admin only. When what was happening with that is you're actually distracting these audience to have only one-way communication. Now, what is our intent is, we have a thread-based topic of discussions. People can connect to the imam. People can donate to the same platform. People can form different volunteer groups, say management groups or different groups within the platform to communicate and engage through one system. Now, the best part is everything is getting centralized, and the management would be very happy when there is a handover from one management to the other management. So it's kind of we are building this for a long run where all the communication aspect will stay on this platform. It's more of private, secure conversations, putting names to faces and faces to name within communities. The best part is having multiple people. If places like Singapore or in many countries where you have language barriers, right? I might communicate in Malay, I might communicate in Chinese, but the other person who have never interacted with me is now interacting through me through the same platform. But earlier it was not possible. So we're kind of bringing the whole community collaborations in one place, and hence communities will be happy to onboard this platform and start seeing one centralized place.
So what about if that community asks you to make a custom version for them? So it is whatever you have developed, but accept your branding, CollabDeen, they want to have Islamic Center of, Tokyo, for example. They want to have whatever you have product, but in their control, they have control of their branding, they have control of their own data. So they're developing their universe with the help of your app. Are you open for them to do that?
We are. There are two ways to look at it. If there are larger organizations, we have already working with large organizations in Indonesia, as large as like 30 million people, and it's a couple of big organizations. So with them, we are working on more on a customized solutions. But as for smaller organizations where have only about 300 people, 500 people in the masjid, it's kind of overhead for them to maintain, manage, the infrastructure, the technologies, and having individual apps is going to be too challenging. And I mean, that's the reason why we have built CollabDeen. As imagine there are about 500,000 or 10,000, individual apps. How do somebody manage them when there is an update on iOS or Android? So everything doing it through centralized one collaboration. But coming back to the point of having that custom branding, yes, we are working on it. Right now, we already have an individual community for everyone to get started, their own branding, their own content, their own.
So you're giving options if somebody wants to be on this and don't worry about the headaches of upgrade and modification. They can be on your platform. If somebody is willing to invest, you're willing to do a custom thing for them, right?
Exactly. You're right.
How are you marketing it? I mean, launching 2018, I mean, in electronic and app world, either you move too fast or you remain in the ocean without anybody recognizing you. So how are you marketing it?
So it's a challenging time, right? So being a startup, doing something for these Muslim communities, they are challenges, put up on your head on a daily basis. So the way we are looking to do is now, I mean, earlier we had some challenges, but now the way we are moving up from here is the platform itself is so polished and getting so polished now. We want to work with influencers, different media partners around the world, And we are also working with, in Canada, you have Shopify. I'm a big fan of Shopify, how these platforms give your, through partnership models, how this could work in different regions. So we are looking out for partners in different regions where we can work closely and, have a very good percentage share with every market within different geographies. So that's different programs that we have come up with, and we are expediting.
Marketing is the real thing, as you know. I mean, I was looking your Alexa rating. There is only one website in the world which links to your website. That tells me that even you have 500 customers, they are not linking back to you or from their own website. So marketing is the real thing. Can you tell me that, Imam answering a question, it's a neat idea. I don't know how many imams are that literate in apps and things like that. I don't have any survey of that. But since it's a collaboration model, why a community, say if I'm a member of a mosque and I am asking a question from Imam there, why that question should be limited to him? Why I cannot ask a broader number of imams and they answer? And the part of that question is, do you have some imam on house? If nobody is bothering, imam is too busy in something else, nobody is answering, and you get the information and you have your imam answering that question.
Right. I think this is a beautiful question. What we have done is, the way we want to do is multifold approach, right? So now we are building this private communities for people to engage with their local imam. But at a global level, we are enabling this option to keep multiple layer of filters. Like I, as Fateh Ali, can ask not just my local community imam, I could ask any imam globally. I can enable that option. People, we are coming up with the influencers as a community. People, imams could be an influencer and they could answer these questions through our platform. Now that's one level. The next level that we are going to do is, I might have a very generic question, and based on my thought process and based on if that imam is agreeing to, both of the parties are doing that handshake of keeping this a public question. So rest of the world would really be benefit out of this question. Yes, that's part of the plan, and that's something we would be further enhancing in version 2.
How you mentioned in your informations that you use artificial intelligence. How do you use artificial intelligence in there? Because I'm quite afraid of artificial intelligence.
The way we look at it is, definitely it's not the artificial intelligence where we see in from Terminators and other movies what you show. Artificial intelligence is more on how do you utilize a user's behavior. For example, one machine learning example I can give you: if my father is opening the Quran segment of the app every Thursday evening or Friday morning, the AI would give them an options to say, hey, you've last 3 Fridays you have opened Quran at so and so particular timing. Now would you like to read Quran now? So that's the intelligence we are talking about, right? So there are various level of engagement that could happen on our platform. Let it be more of user to user or user to communities or communities to community. We are trying to advance our solution where the whole community experience benefits out of it. So that's one example, but we are working on various solutions as the platform grows. We have various solutions that will pick up for the benefits of users and the community administrators.
Well, let me ask a slightly difficult question. You're based in Singapore. Singapore is one of the most Islamophobic country in the world. I remember taking a Singapore Airlines going somewhere, and my seat in front of me was far. I mean, it was between a space, so I couldn't put my head while trying to sleep. Plane was almost empty, so I just switched to next seat, which was empty, where I could rest my head in the front seat while I'm sleeping. As I exit in Tokyo, I think it was just, plane has a break for a couple of hours or something like that. And when I went there, right at the exit, there was a big placard with my name. If you're this, talk to me. And I say, what in the world is going on? I started talking to them. And they were curious that why did I change my seat? And I was grilled for extended period of time. And then the flight, when it arrived in Singapore, and of course I was in transit, I was not going anywhere. So I was just using computer, standing there. There were other people as well. Suddenly, I don't know, 10, 12 soldiers arrived with all guns. And they went around, and essentially it seems they were very polite to went around, but their main target was myself. And then they have extensive amount of question to ask me. It was very clear to me they were passing by other people casually. And it is in Singapore also that there is an organization business called Bits Media Private Limited, and they had a app called Muslim Pro, which is 100 million people have subscribed that to learn about their faith and all that. Their data is sold, and it is with the US military. And US military is not very smart. If they see an Afghan with shalwar kameez from 32,000 feet high in the sky with a drone, and his name appears on that app, they think, okay, he's too much religious person using Muslim Pro, shoot him. I mean, there are people getting killed. So what assurance can you give to people who are using your software that you're smarter than Muslim Pro app, and their data is going to be safe? Because you're requiring everything to be cloud-based in your control in Singapore, which I don't consider it to be a free country where citizens have many rights.
Makes sense. So, firstly, your question about Singapore Airlines, I'm really afraid, how to answer that. It's definitely a kind of one-off case. I'm not sure why it would happen then. Talking about Bits Media.
It's not just me. I mean, they are the one who have put a ban on hijab in public schools. So it is a public behavior. It's not just one singular case with me. So anyway, leave the government aside. Tell me how you're going to protect the data which you will accumulate.
Right. So firstly, we are EU GDPR compliant, PDPA compliant. Being a Singapore company, we're definitely taking care of all the compliance measures globally. Our privacy experts are based out of UK, KZN privacy experts, and they're helping us through every steps, whatever kind of evolution of our data, evolution of our communities are, kind of taking care from every regulation aspects point of view. Now, what we have done additionally is, we understand what's happened with the Bits Media, the Muslim Pro scenario, but
are you connected in any way with Bits Media?
No, we are independent company. We have no connection whatsoever with that company.
Is there any investment of Singapore government in your business?
No, we started up with angel investors. We are independent at this moment, and we are looking out for a positive round of investment. And we can talk about it separately. But we don't have any connections with them, nor the government, and we are kind of very, very independent. Our whole purpose of building CollabDeen is for more of secured community collaboration aspects and making sure these communities really thrive with more of privacy in their terms. Now, talking about why privacy, let me give you a couple of examples to connect the question that you have asked. Now, earlier on our platform, we had email address, we asked date of birth and few other information. Now, looking at what happened with Muslim Pro, we are reconsidering how we take these kind of decisions. Firstly, we have eliminated the case of asking the date of birth. We only need year of birth capture for few functional aspects. Now we have made email ID an optional things on our platform. We are considering making location 100% optional, where this was the reason I think Bits Media or Muslim Pro had this scenario where the location data was kind of sold. I mean, Allah knows best that the consideration, but we are considering making location 100% optional, only required locally, no data sent to servers or saved anywhere. So we're making sure that kind of privacy levels are really taken care. Now, what we are doing further additionally is the way we are looking to build this positive change within communities. For example, now if a sister in a community wants to share her profile pictures only with the sisters of the community, she could just do that. No other platforms would allow these kind of filtrations, moderations. On the other side, if there is if somebody creates, we are having a complete know your customer KYC process. We know anyone who creates a community on a platform, start engaging, we know who that customers are. We make that a verified community, maybe verified the organization, only then allow them to start healthily collaborating with their people. Making sure communities have a community administrator, once approved, have a complete control over who joins the platform. If there are people trying to spam, trying to put down any kind of filtrations, there are filtration moderations around. People could, the community organizations could actually block the user, temporarily block, and move out of the platform completely. So we have those kind of mechanism that's been taken care. So we create a healthy community around. That's really our focus. And
well,
we are making.
Fateh Ali, thank you so much. Truly appreciate your time. And please give out your website so people can connect with you.
Sure. CollabDeen, the brand is CollabDeen, collaboration of Deen, collabdeen.com. Just to be on the, going on the mobile phone and Android or iOS, you can just type in Deen, DEEN.app, and that'll take you to App Store and Play Store. Get started. You can try out. We are coming up with a new version out just before Ramzan, inshallah, that'll have more better user experience with more of prayer time utilities and the community experience, inshallah.
Thank you so much, Fateh Ali. Good luck with your business, and I hope your privacy standards and security is high to give higher level of confidence to the community. And not only should comply with your country data security, but also USA and Canada and European Union. So there is a high confidence. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Inshallah.
Walaikum.
Network
TV, and we're talking about new Muslim businesses. We will be right back after these messages.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Adam. You remember me? I appeared in so many episodes that Sound Vision has put on the market. No matter what. Hey, what's happening? Hey, oh, sorry. Lockdown is what it is. Well, continuing here. In this lockdown, Sound Vision never stops thinking about you, the viewer. We'll have to get back into production again, online and inline. Everybody in their own space, even me. Although I'm stuck with Lanisa.
Salam! Salam! Salam!
I know, you were shocked too. Well, let me continue. This is what I was going to say. Salam! 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 Cut! Finally, I get my own screen time again. Thank God. And so we invested in new equipment to bring you even better production with new songs and new singers and animations. Well, here are a few clips. And Sound Vision has brought all this into your home, making Islamic values and teachings easy. And if you know me, Adam, a multi-talented actor, well, sometimes I'm an actor and the reporter and the... Oh, that's enough. Let's move on to the next section. Well, you can watch these new episodes on our new app at www.adamsworldapp.com. We have previews happening every day on Muslim Network TV. Sound vision has been serving generations, moving and changing with the times. We are all faithfully connected. That is a huge blessing. Your donation helps keep these programs available now and into the future. We take this job of helping tomorrow's Muslims today seriously, and you should too. Today, we need your help. Children absorb and learn from everything they encounter. Make that wholesome, positive, grounded in our faith. Together, we can accomplish our goal of raising better Muslims, better neighbors, and better citizens. Please donate generously. It's an investment in our future. To finish, let me tell you, there are new scripts of my new mission. And it is something that I enjoy talking about. My new mission is space. Houston, we do not have a problem. Salam, see you soon. Me too.
Welcome back to Muslim Network TV. This is Imam Malik Mujahid, and today we are talking about Muslim businesses. I mean, people when think of halal, they normally think of what you're eating, but there's a whole lot goes in halal businesses, and one halal businesses is money, how you use money, where you keep money, how you buy a house and car and invest in your businesses. To discuss all of that with us today is a innovator, a founder of a new business. Anytime I go to Canada, and I see more mosques, more people, and more public places of Muslims. So I looked into it. It turned out that the Greater Toronto area, where most of the Canadian population seems to be in, has close to 7-8% who are all Muslims. In that way, probably it is in North America, it's the city of highest concentration of Muslims. So we have Mohamad Sawwaf with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So Mohamad Sawwaf is co-founder and CEO of Manzil. Wow. So what is Manzil, Sawwaf?
Menzel is an Islamic financing and investment solutions company. We're completely digitally oriented, so we like to consider ourselves, the very first Islamic neobank. And basically, we're here to provide 100% Sharia-compliant financial services solutions.
Just 100%?
So we actually adhere to the AOFI standards. So AOFI is a universal Islamic finance guideline that was mandated by and created by Mufti Taqi Osmani of Pakistan. He's the chairman of the board. AOFI is actually a regulated entity in the by the Central Bank of Bahrain. And all of the Islamic banks around the world adhere to these guidelines to ensure that the products, when they're structured and they are facilitated by organizations like ours, there's complete trust, credibility, and peace of mind in the consumer's mind when dealing with such entities and such products.
Well, Sawwaf, tell me that I should call you Mohamad, but I'm raised in a culture where we don't quite mention the name of the Prophet by calling people.
Yes, Sawwaf is fine.
So forgive me if I continue the tradition my mother has instilled in my blood there. So a Canadian company relying on a company based in Bahrain for authenticity, that doesn't give a whole lot of confidence to me. I'm in Bahrain. Bahrain is a company organization based in Bahrain. A country which is messed up in itself is going to certify a company in a beautiful Canada?
So what we need to understand is the current Islamic finance environment in Canada, and there is no such regulation, right? So if you actually go across the Atlantic to the UK, you will find that from a regulatory perspective, they do have not only a conventional banking system, but they have a full-fledged infrastructure and regulatory mandate for Islamic finance.
Yeah, and in UK they have changed their laws 4 times to incorporate and accommodate and all that.
Yes, absolutely. And their big push was in 2003 when they decided to move into the space. Canada and the USA have yet not adopted, from a regulatory perspective, these Islamic finance guidelines. And so what we have to do is self-regulate, okay, from the Islamic perspective, not on the conventional side, because we're fully licensed and we do have all of the abilities and capabilities to do what we do from a legal standpoint in Canada. But when it comes to Sharia, nobody here in Canada has created such a regulatory framework or mandate to basically oversee what these organizations are doing, because anybody can just put up their hand and say, I'm halal, trust us, right?
Yeah, I mean, in Chicago, we got 300% that we are halal also.
Yeah,
absolutely. Behind us.
So back to your original comment about halal food, I was born here, we grew up here, and it took 30 years to get to the halal food industry to where it is today in Canada, which is $1 billion industry and, regulated by the Canadian federal government, which is a fantastic, growth and progress. We are trying to do the same now for Islamic finance. And inshallah, we hope that it doesn't take 30 years to do that. So AOFI is, forget about that it's Bahraini based and regulated by the Bahraini government, but it is a culmination of scholars from all the madhahibs, right? So Shafi'i, Hanbali, Hanafi, and Maliki. And we have all scholars from around the world that convene, and they create these Sharia standards for these Islamic financial institutions to adhere to and to abide by. And alhamdulillah, Menzel is the actually only Canadian AOFI member organization that is not only certified by them, but has all levels of governance when it comes to internal and external Sharia advisors, as well as an independent Sharia board and external independent observers.
So tell me, how do you make money? Tell me how you make money.
Yeah, so we make money a few ways because we have multiple products on our shelf. So number one, we have our Halal Menzel mortgage fund. So this is just a fund where people can invest, I guess, in the U.S. context, their 401ks or their Roth IRAs or their general IRAs. We have things up here called RSPs and RESPs. So you can, as a retail investor, deposit your money into this fund. This fund would generate profits through the underlying mortgages that we transact on. And we generate revenue through what we call as a wakala fee, so a management fee on the fund, as well as administration fees on the mortgages that we provide. Other products that we currently have is our Halal prepaid Visa card. So we earn one-time, basically, sign-up fees from our partner institution on that. And we have other programs that will be launched in 2021, inshallah, where there will be different revenue streams that will come from that.
So what is the capital size which you have at this moment?
So, mashallah, we have a lot of demand when it comes to our mortgage program. Our wait list is over $1.5 billion, so there's no shortage of demand there. Our fund, since inception of it, which launched last year, it was our inaugural year. Alhamdulillah, we've reached almost $2 million into the fund, and we plan to continually grow that. In this year and the years forward, inshallah, to hopefully be able to increase not only the capital but meet the demand that is currently exceeding its supply.
You did not answer my question.
The capital in the fund is $2 million.
Okay, so you have a larger wait list,
Yes.
but your total money which you're playing with right now is $2 million.
Yeah, so for 2020, we were able to attract $2 million into the fund and execute mortgages from that capital. And inshallah, that will grow in 2021.
So it is way smaller than many of the US operations, which has several $1 billion already invested. How they are doing it and why you're not doing that way.
So
housing is impossible. It's so costly. And a lot of Muslims are living in rental properties because they cannot afford to get into this. So I thought Canada, Toronto, especially halal market, is far bigger in terms of its potential than halal market in any US city. So what is hampering your growth?
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. The focus really for us is to ensure that we don't take on any type of riba-based capital, right? So we are not focusing on attracting money from the banks or any type of financial institution where we enter into a riba-based contract. So that is why our focus has been, attracting capital from the community here, which is, like you said, very strong. It's very tight-knit. And so what we have seen is some very good initial traction in 2020. And because, we're a digital company, we're focused on, people's money and, sometimes it's their life savings. There's always that trust and factor that needs to be overcome. And inshallah, the longer we're in the market, the larger we'll start to see those inflows. And we are starting to see that. December was actually our biggest month when it came to capital inflows. And we hope to see that growth continue into 2021 on a monthly basis, inshallah.
I think I forgot to ask, when did you start?
Officially, we started January 1st, 2020.
Oh, so officially, unofficially, meaning you have been doing under the table dealings with people?
No, when people look at the inception of our company, I like to say that we started off July 2017, but that's because we were in research and development mode, structuring the products with our legal and our Sharia advisors. So we had no business activity for almost 2.5 years. 2020, January 1st is when we launched our products to be accessible to the marketplace.
So you're open for business in January 2021.
Exactly.
I saw somewhere on your website that you accept investors from outside Canada as well.
Yes. So depending on your, your status as a Canadian citizen. So we do accept Canadian citizens that are living abroad. So the expat sort of community. And we know that there are many of those living in the GCC, South Asia, even in the US. So they do have the ability to invest in our Halal mortgage fund through our facilitator, CI Direct Investing, as long as they do hold that Canadian citizen status. But when it comes to anyone that doesn't, that's where the limitations lie. So we would not be able to accept them. But if we have accepted international investors as shareholders of Menzel for our operations. So that there are no limitations around who that is and where they're.
Ownership of Manzil is define the ownership of Manzil to me.
Yeah, so just like any startup that's growing, we do have external investors that have provided us with capital to grow our operations, to scale our model. And so we have multiple shareholders. We actually have hundreds of shareholders as a private company. And anyone has the ability to invest in our company if they are aligned with our vision and our mission and where we want to take Menzel, not only in Canada, but of course we do have our sights set on expanding internationally as well.
So on your website, it has on a piece of Manzil for as little as $500. Be a part of the legacy. So when I went there, your legacy seems to be already over. It is no longer accepting an investment.
So that campaign just recently closed. That was a crowdfunding campaign that we had established in early September, and there are guidelines under the securities regulations here that we can only do campaigns for a 90-day period or window. So that 90-day passed, I think, on December 23rd. And inshallah, we do have our eyes set on actually extending those campaigns into 2021. We might do them one more time or two more times because there is still demand for that and for that kind of ownership and to create that legacy. And we'd be more than happy to let you know when it does get reopened, inshallah.
I think your website need to know when it is opening and when it is closed. So tell me this. Why so Manzil as a business, what type of company is this?
So we like to consider ourselves a Islamic financial services company.
But that's your ideology. But in Canadian law, what is the format? Is it a privately held company? It is
Yes,
shared?
it is a privately held Canadian-controlled corporation.
Okay, so when it is privately held, and how much of investment is of Canadian Muslims and how much of investment is non-Canadians?
I would say 90% is Canadian Muslims.
Okay, so what is wrong in you partnering with any bank in the world or a Canadian bank, and on the basis of Islamic financing, meaning that you say, well, you and us are partners in this business. So they are investing in this business because if I'm keeping my money somewhere, most likely it is going to be a general bank which deals with a whole lot of things. So a faster growing path, because 2 million, I'm in US, I visit several of the homes here, of Muslims' home. Those homes are $2 million worth. And so the growth seems to be, your growth model seems to be not clear to me, that if you will only wait until people have enough confidence in you to pitch in their $500 until you buy another $500,000 house. I mean, that seems to be a very slow model.
So we've had many talks with not only Canadian banks, but international banks. And what you're talking about in terms of this partnership is actually called an Islamic window. And we see this on a regular basis with a lot of non-Muslim based countries like the UK, where you'll have a Barclays or a Standard Chartered.
UK got about 3,000 banks doing the window.
Yeah. So there's definitely an opportunity for that. I think particularly in Canada, there's we're not first movers, not us Menzel, but like Canada generally as a society. They're less risk taking than let's say our US counterparts. So they like to see traction and growth happen organically before they start to come in and say, okay, well, this looks like this is something that's gaining traction, so to speak, and maybe we should start to partner with them to capture this demographic because we're not able to. And for the international banks, most of the talks have been about us moving into their jurisdiction versus them moving into our jurisdiction and supporting our program here in Canada. The halal mortgage market is upwards of $150 billion, right? It's a lot of money that is required.
And that is, you're talking Canada.
Yeah, just specifically in Canada, right? And we have 1.6 million Muslims growing to 3.2 over the next 10 years, which not only makes it the fastest growing demographic, but also the second largest religious base after Catholicism. So the demand will only continually grow. And so, with potential institutional partners, it's not only just overcoming kind of the regulatory piece, but getting them on board with, our specialized program of how the transaction works, the Sharia compliance that needs to be adhered to ensure that we continually keep the trust abreast with all of the consumers' minds. Because the biggest, from a marketing perspective, is as soon as you join with a bank, there's going to be this perception that, oh, are you now taking riba-based capital and lending it out to the Muslim Ummah, right? So there has to be a specific way to create that model so that it appeals to the Muslim community, so that they still want the product, right? Because right now they want the product because of the way it's structured. If you start to introduce something that taints that model, then it may be a harder sell.
So tell me this, you start talking about marketing. So how do you market?
Our focus on marketing really has been very organic. We've used social media a lot, so you'll find us on all of the social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. A lot of community.
If you're not on those platforms, you don't exist, but it doesn't mean marketing.
Well,
that's by default. You will be on social media marketing.
Yeah, but what I meant was we're active and not passive on those platforms. We don't do Google ads or any of those paid ad types of marketing is what I was getting to, and we're very focused on community-based seminars or webinars because of the COVID times, right? So we've had a lot of online webinars for multiple communities across Canada. And we do a lot of partnerships with a lot of the charitable organizations here, such as like National Zakah Foundation, Penny Appeal, Nisa Homes, Nisa Helpline, and others. And so we've yielded some pretty good results that way.
Tell me, who in the US is thinking on these lines? I mean, there is so much Muslim money being essentially wasted as far as Muslims are concerned. I mean, we have not-for-profit organization. I'm in Chicago, where I'm based. Well, our producer is in your city, but in Chicago, 125 mosques and 15 mosques have higher budget than any national organization of Muslims in the United States. They got money. I mean, people have zakat, and they which is just sitting there. So there is a lot of not-for-profit as well as for-profit money in circulation without helping the Muslim community. So what advice do you have for aspiring people, business people in USA to start looking into? And do you know anybody looking into these things?
I don't know anyone specifically. I know that there's a lot of Muslim fintechs that are coming to the forefront, like as new initiatives. And, they may not be in the halal mortgage space, but they may be in more peer-to-peer lending or crowdfunding and the like. And I completely agree with you, Imam, in the sense that there is a lot of wealth amongst the Muslims, not only in the USA, but in Canada. If you think about it, right, like we have an averseness to debt, right? So if we're not taking on any types of debt, and we're focused on savings, but we haven't really turned those savings into investing. That is really the next critical stage. And part of investing is not only in kind of the public capital markets, but also in private enterprise and private initiatives that are going on. And that's where, companies like ours are trying to attract that capital, because there seems to be a lot of skepticism, so to speak, when it comes to Muslim-led or owned, private enterprises. And there's a lot of money that's what we like to call is just dead money or stale money. It's not being circulated within the ummah, and it's not increasing the wealth of the ummah. I tell people, if Islamic finance, the way it was available today, was available 30 years ago, imagine the wealth that could have been built. Imagine the zakatul mal that could have been paid into.
Yeah, I mean, actually, brother, forgive me for interruption. In Canada, was way ahead of the US. It was Dr. Jamal Badawi who came up with the first model of Islamic housing partnership, or whatever he used to call it. But somehow it didn't grow. I mean, and the US, it has a huge growth. So I think the concept is there. People have been worried about it for a while. But as you mentioned, the dead money, I mean, money is sitting there doing nothing for anyone.
That's right.
Neither for our people who are not taking interest, nor for any growth in Muslim businesses. So
And
I
people have to
really
pay
appreciate you starting this business. I hope Bahrainis will keep an eye on you. Do they actually visit you or just read your papers?
No, they do not do visits, but we do have, basically member meetings that happen on a quarterly basis. And of course, the membership fees that need to be paid in order to maintain our status. And they liaise with our Sharia board to ensure that the annual certifications and audits are conducted.
So it has been a year now that you have started this business. Do you intend to declare dividend this year?
No, we are not, a profitable company. So dividends will not be declared for our shareholders. It is best used towards, growing the company and expanding that growth as fast as possible. Usually dividends occur for companies that have, no net present value assets to acquire more than what they would be able to provide on a cost of capital basis. So those are usually for larger companies, more publicly based companies.
So when do you project you will be able to start giving dividends to people?
Well, our path from an exit strategy would be to IPO on the public markets here in Canada, and I think once that happens, we would then be able to have a path towards providing dividends to our shareholders, inshallah.
Wow! So when you project that to happen?
I would say within the next 3 to 5 years.
Not bad, not bad. Well, thank you so much, Brother Muhammad Sawwaf. Nice talking to you.
You're most welcome. Jazakallahu khairan, Imam, for this informative session.
Thank you so much. You're watching Muslim Network TV, and today we discuss about two Muslim businesses which just started off in a year. And Muslim are thinking people. They got exciting ideas. They think and put things to work. And we will have more shows of this nature. And thank you, Sherdil Khan and Abdul for producing today's show. And you're watching Muslim Network TV on Galaxy 19 satellite, which reaches 57 million subscribers, mostly in rural area of USA and Canada. Also on OTT devices like Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku. You can download our app and watch it through that, or visit our website, muslimnetwork.tv. Peace and salam.